Teach Western Mass works with schools in Holyoke and Springfield to attract, train, and retain high-quality teachers. The nonprofit just received a $250,000 grant from the Barr Foundation. I was joined in studio by Pema Letshang of Teach Western Mass and Kayra Lopez, who teaches at Baystate Academy Charter School, to find out more about their mission and their work.
Teach Western Mass is a small nonprofit that was founded in early 2016. It was actually founded by Holyoke Public Schools and the Springfield Empowerment Zone in order to ensure an effective educator in every one of our partner school classrooms. We have 30 schools in Holyoke and Springfield, 6 of which are charters and the rest of which are district schools. And we have 11,000 students, and as I'm sure you know, every student deserves an effective educator, an educator who is, able to achieve transformational student outcomes and lead the classroom. And unfortunately, a lot of our schools have teacher shortages, particularly in high needs areas like math and science. And so that's something that we work to help our schools with.
And so you walk people through the process, people interested in teaching in maybe Springfield or Holyoke. How do you help them become the teacher that maybe they want to be, and especially those who are thinking of switching their career?
Great question. So we have a number of programs. We have 4 programs that start actually in high school. We have 2 undergrad programs, and then we have 2 licensure programs. The newest one that you just mentioned is the residency, which a lot of career changers can take advantage of. We have an application open right now, and our first cohort of teachers, of 19 teachers, is teaching in the classroom, half of which are career changers. And so through that process, coming into the residency, our staff trains them, helps them to prepare to enter the classroom, fully prepared to work in Holyoke and Springfield, and walks them through the licensure process, like you mentioned.
So Kayra, tell us a little bit about your story. I know you work at a school in Springfield now. How did you become aware of Teach Western Mass?
Okay, so while I was at Smith College, I've learned about the Teach Western Mass process through Project Coach. So working with Joe, I've heard about the wonderful opportunity about teaching in Western Mass. And after working with Springfield Youth, I decided that I wanted to stay a little while longer, and then that's when I met Pema. So after going through the interview process, Pema helped me get matched with the school that I currently work with. So I did a separate program through Teach Western Mass where I did my licensure and my graduate program through Smith College, and I got placed based off of, the location.
The location. And Project Coach, by the way, is a fantastic program.
Yes.
We've done stories on them as well. So you did go on and get your master's. So you have your master's, you have your license. For the lay person, I feel like it is overwhelming to see the amount of training that goes into becoming a teacher. Of course, you need training, but I feel like, after the master's, you have to get the license, and I feel like it can be a little bit overwhelming for people. Do you agree?
It can be. What's nice is that there are multiple entry points to becoming a teacher in our schools. And so what Teach Western Mass tries to do is really support candidates at all levels in their undergrad and their graduate program, or career changers, or even recruiting teachers from other districts and other states to come here. And we really provide multiple entry points into the classroom, whether you have your master's, don't have your master's, and we really support you depending on where you are, because we also found the same thing, that people were just too confused by how do I become a teacher, and then how do I get the support and the training that I need to be successful. And a lot of times, a lot of the learning that you need is on the job. You need direct coaching and practice. It's not just sort of coursework that you can do. All that is an essential component as well. And so we try to bridge the gap between our university partners. We have some of our own licensure programs now, and even bringing young people into the career who might not have thought of teaching prior to doing some of our programs.
I know you have a background in teaching as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
I grew up in Northampton, and I went to college and decided to be a teacher, and I taught middle school in the Bronx for a number of years, and then went on to the New York City Department of Education and supported schools across the city with a number of initiatives. I was fortunate to come back to Holyoke and work for Holyoke Public Schools before becoming the ED of Teach Western Mass.
And tell us a little bit about, as well, the grant. It's a $250,000 grant, and how that'll be structured.
Yes, we are very fortunate to be supported by 3 different foundations. We were originally supported by the Davis Family Foundation and continue to be here in Springfield, as well as the Mass Mutual Foundation, which supports one of our undergrad programs, 2 of them. And we just recently are very, very pleased to win a Barr Foundation grant. This is a very specific purpose. To enter into strategic planning process for 6 months, to really come out with a plan for, as an organization, we're still a startup. I was the only full-time employee until 6 months ago. So where do we want to go as an organization in the next 3 to 5 years, and what are sort of the best ways that we can accomplish our mission? That is sort of the goal of this particular grant, and just building capacity to really sort of build our organization out more to be as effective as possible.
So what are some of the things that you have noticed now? This is your first year in the classroom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are some of the challenges that you face as a teacher?
I feel like one of the biggest challenges is kind of reminding students that it is an investment and it's a lifelong process to learn. And I feel like being able to kind of go into the classroom every day to remind them that this is a journey and we're doing the best that we can because we are all humans, and that the educational experience, it's tailored to you. So as much as you invest is as much as you're going to get out of it.
And that's good to hear from a young teacher, especially, right? Because I know you're at the high school level as
Yes.
well. So, so that kind of brings it right down to their level, and a level that they can understand. I know that you had mentioned about a shortage of teachers, in Holyoke and Springfield. What causes that, and how do you attract new teachers to come in?
There has historically, for quite some time, been about a third teacher vacancies turnover every year in Holyoke and Springfield. A lot of times, there's a licensure issue area where there's not enough licensed teachers, and so the teachers that are hired are actually unlicensed and waivered, and that sort of creates a turnover effect. A lot of times people also go maybe to other districts or move, and there's a number of different reasons. And so we really work at Teach Western Mass to ensure that there's a better match between the supply and the demand. So we really work to increase the quantity, the quality, and the diversity of the teachers that come in to interview at our schools. The principals make the hiring decisions, but we really want to make sure that every student has a teacher in front of them in September, and that historically has not been the case.